Hello everyone, welcome to the Housecast. This is episode 9, and this is a very special episode because we are going to drink a very expensive bottle of scotch. Isn't that right?
Why, yes. I wasn't expecting the accent, but I guess I'll try along. I'm sure my accent is god-awful.
Well, you're bad at English in the first place, so
That is very true.
I might drop this momentarily, but for the time being, it is fairly funny. No, seriously though, guys, we are drinking a $237 bottle of scotch. As you can see, it is 18 years. Oh, there we go. It is 18 years aged, Macallan, and well, I've never had any alcohol even remotely this expensive, so this will be an experience for me, absolutely.
Neither have I.
So, first things first, obviously, we got to kind of talk about why we're dressed like this. We decided that we wanted to have a nice, sort of formal podcast and look at our best, and that we were going to drink very, very expensive alcohol, and that we were going to talk about very civilized subjects. So, you will hear at least very little swearing in this episode, hopefully.
Very, very little. I will try my best.
Yeah, hopefully. And, you know, if Sully does not stumble over his English too much, hopefully we will have a really, really good show. I'm just joking. I love you.
Oh, I just realized I'll be drinking.
Yeah. So,
Man.
this is 43% alcohol per volume. Pretty crazy stuff. Haven't even opened the bottle yet. I'm sure that when we open it, the fumes will get us drunk. But we're going to go ahead and rock this. So, let's do this.
Let's do it. It's right there. Also, are we doing video?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like defeat the purpose of the fact we tried so hard to get the sick-ass fireplace. Yeah, feel that heat. You know, like, we tried to do this super gentlemanly, and I already started off by swearing.
Yep. You
Wow.
suck. But also, this is the first Housecast episode that is done with video. This is also the first Housecast episode done with the green screen. And this is also the first Housecast episode where we have not had all 4 of the original members. So this is a very integral and important Housecast.
So, for this episode, we shall call it The First. Let's go with The First.
The first.
The First.
The first ever
Housecast.
Housecast. This is the real Housecast, everyone. The real Housecast.
The First.
Look at this lid. Look how nice this lid is. Take a look at this lid, everybody.
It's kind of plastic.
It's just got this nice, like, emblem on it. This company has apparently been around since 1824.
Jesus. It's a cork. I was
Yeah.
expecting a twisty.
All right. Wow. Sully, smell that. It doesn't even smell that strong, but it smells so good. Okay. Start out slow.
Yes.
Like gentlemen. And we will accelerate. Okay, so that's going to go over there for now. Sultan, I would like to propose a toast. A cheers to living the dream.
Living the dream. Dream livers. That was incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
Whoa. There it is.
You feel it like right here? That's where I feel it.
I feel it like a lot of over here because I
Oh,
suckled
Jesus,
it.
there it is. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I kind of like suckled it in my mouth first before I drank it down. And it hit me right in the back of the throat, right in the plan. I don't know what I just said.
Holy crap. This is good stuff.
Whew.
That seriously, like, I did not, until it got, like, here, and then all of a sudden just this whole area just erupted. Just crazy.
That is. like to point out, smelling it smells like nail polish remover.
A little bit.
Yeah. Like, whenever I'm about to take a drink, it's just like a big old waft of, like, nail polish remover just hits my nose. And I'm just like, I also don't really drink much.
Yeah, I'm probably much more used to this than Sully is. I drink almost every night.
Yeah. I drink...
When I give you a sip.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so, first topic.
Oh, shit, I forgot.
Yeah, so I'm going to actually, for the uninitiated, the Housecast is a topic-based podcast where each person
That was a horrible burp.
comes to the show with a podcast. Because there's only 2 of us today, we're going to do, we'll kind of figure it out as we go. I assumed we do 2 topics each or something, but we'll figure it out.
That was a painful burp. Ow.
Yeah. So, my first topic is the topic of image. So, image as in how people view you and how you view yourself. We're obviously dressed very nice today, and we obviously wanted to present ourselves with a good image today. But I was thinking about this as well because I was listening to Andrew WK's podcast that he runs on the Blaze Radio Network, and he talks about an instance where he was invited to go to Bahrain in the Middle East to be a U.S. cultural ambassador, but then he was denied that privilege because of his image and the way that he looks and the way that he presents himself. The U.S. government decided we don't want to represent, or we don't want to be represented by someone as like dirty and unkempt as him. So they didn't let him go, which he was very upset about. But he understood. Obviously Andrew WK is a pretty grungy dude. And I just kind of wanted to talk about the fact that an image like that can prevent you from doing a really, really cool life experience, or it can enable you to do a really cool life experience. And sort of just the way that your image as a person and like the way you present yourself affects your life. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit.
That's fair. Yeah. I feel there's a lot of things when it comes down to image. A lot of people will say how they don't base like their judgment over image. There's like, oh no, I go by their personality. I judge a person by how they act, how their insides are. That's what I like about a person, not the way they look, not about their image. No, that's a load of shit.
Yeah.
Wow, I am really bad at not swearing.
That's fine. We've already, kicked that puppy.
Yeah. But I mean, with image, I'd say, for instance, like, let's say you're at university and you're walking about the hallway and you go to sit down to do your homework, and you'll see a group of people, like, essentially all your tables are filled up and you don't really have an area to sit down by yourself, so you have to pick a table to sit by somebody, and each one of those tables is filled up by one other person, with each like looking different types. So there's one that's like looks very well dressed and everything, then there's another person who's like, I would say not semi-formal, but just like just kind of has like a hoodie, t-shirt,
Casual.
like, casual, yeah, like, well, not even like the most like casual senses. I'd say more of in the preppy casual.
Yeah, fair.
Then you have like your normal just person wearing a t-shirt, looks like he does like construction work for a living, something like that. Then there's another person who you would consider as a basement dweller, neck beard, and just has like a sweatshirt, stuff like that, doing his homework. And then you have just like normal like nerdy type person who's like just like the plaid button up with like glasses and everything like that. If you are looking to sit somewhere without being interrupted or anything like that, you're not going to be basing like the person's like personality or anything like that. You're going to base that person off their image. There's a lot of instances where a person would base a person off his
yeah, absolutely.
image.
The thing about judging people based on their personality or their insides or their anything lower than surface value is that sometimes you just don't have that much time to get to know someone.
Yeah.
And so in some cases, your judgment must be based on image.
Yeah.
And I think especially in instances like you're talking about, like you enter a classroom and you have to sit next to somebody and there's like an open seat next to everyone in the room. Who do you sit next to? It's like you have to sort of base that first impression off of image. And so I guess I want to talk about the way that I present myself. Maybe you can do the same. I present myself in the most average way I can possibly think of. I wear jeans, shoes, like really normal Vans, Converse shoes, a t-shirt with like a logo on it maybe, and a plaid overshirt, and like a beanie. That's my image. That's what I present myself as. That's what I wear every day.
Yep.
Barring some special exceptions.
And you have like a headset on.
Yeah, and I have like headphones on. So I look very much like a
I'd say
college student almost.
I'd say more of like not punk, but like really getting really close to like casual and like say a skater type style.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And that's the way I present myself. And I think because of that, I tend to be somewhat I'm trying to think of the way best to explain it, but I'm unapproachable in some ways because of the fact that I sort of put off that image, like I don't really want to listen to what anybody else says, and I have headphones on 90% of the time when I'm walking around, so I don't want people talking to me, and I pretty much just like express myself that way. But if you get to know me a little bit better than surface value, he probably doesn't want to talk to me. I just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So like my personal image is totally different than the image that other people probably see me as, but that's how I intend it to be, because I want people to, if I'm going to talk to someone, I want to talk to someone who's willing to get past that barrier to entry of me putting my headphones on and me sort of looking like more of a like, punk or skater type. So that's sort of the image that I have placed myself in. I don't know. I mean, you look different almost every single day that I see you. You put on a bunch of different images. So.
Yeah, it's for my my case, it's really different. That was pretty much how it was like throughout high school and now. I don't really tend to just go by one sort of style or anything like that. I have a bunch of different styles that I go by. Like I have say one day I'll dress up like in all black. I'll have like goth style going on. I'll have say a spiked bracelet with it and everything like that. That'll go very goth. And then the next day I can go incredibly preppy. Like I'll have just like a really low hanging O shirt with like skinny jeans, like white and pink, stuff like that. And like I'll have different styles all the time. I'm not sure what brought that upon me. I don't like one sort of style, like all styles, like every single clothing style, including like women's style, like all of that interests me, and I like that and I want it.
Yeah, I think that it's cool that you're so comfortable being in like whatever clothing style you choose that day. For me, I'm so like almost, I don't even know how to say it, like pre-scheduled, that I just like I know what I'm gonna wear the next day, and it's gonna be the same thing I wore yesterday. Like I'm so comfortable in my own clothing that it's sort of it's not that I don't like wearing nice clothes. I do, but I just feel so comfortable in my normal clothes that I don't find it necessary to, express myself in that way. Like I would rather express myself in other ways by
definitely. And like I understand that, like definitely for sure, but I think I know why I decided like that, where I want so many different styles, because like when growing up a lot, since like me and my brother, we're pretty close to the same age. We're just like I believe 2 years off. we wear the same outfit all the time. Like, me and my brother would dress up the exact same outfit all the time because my mom would pick out our outfits. And so, like, I think until I was, like, 13, like, we wore the same outfit all the time. And then it's like, after that, I was like, no, I want to wear my own clothes. And, like, from there on, I never really picked a style. Couldn't identify myself with a style. So I just kind of, like, adapted everything. And then I'd see a person walking down the road, like, oh, that's a really cool outfit. I think we'd try, like, getting some clothes or replicate that. Or, like, a lot of times with anime, I'll see an anime character, like, wear really cool clothes. I'm like, damn, that's some really cool clothes. I want to try replicating that. And I'll just buy clothes that look like it.
Nah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and I wish sometimes that I was more comfortable, you know, trying on different styles and outfits and stuff like that. There's a part of me that, you know, wishes that I was a little bit braver in that sense, and you're definitely very brave for doing that. Because I think in that way, you sort of are presenting to everyone that you are just trying to understand how everyone feels about their image. You have sort of this more clear understanding than almost anyone that I can think of how people feel about their own image because you've presented yourself in so many different ways. And for me, it's a lot harder to, like, empathize with that. So that's cool.
And, like going, like, full circle back to what the original topic was, like, how your image can present to other people. Like, with that, like, with me, since I, like, do so many different type of styles, like, the way other people see me, like, for instance, like, Andrew WK, people see him as, like, a grungy, like, party person. For me, like, everybody sees me as, like, very feminist. See, what, it's pretty much that's about it. Like, very feminist, I wouldn't say hyperactive. That's how it was back then. But nowadays, like, people don't see me as hyperactive. But, like, a lot of times people instantly think that I'm gay. Like, before they, like, talk to me or anything like that, they'll see me, like, walk in. For instance, at work, everybody there thinks I'm gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may have not denied that we're in a relationship at work. So that might be part of the reason.
To be fair, I've also, like, skipped down our work's hallway holding, like, Greg's hand or, like, Jessen's hand or something like that. Like, I give a lot of reasons as to why they would think that.
And I think, so we can kind of move into another sort of part of the conversation. I am so glad that the place that we work and the place that we live, Bellingham, and even the state that we live, Washington, is so accepting and unquestioning about people's sexuality that it doesn't matter if you're gay or not, is sort of the coolest thing about it. Like, people can assume that's fine. It doesn't mean you're any different of a person, and it doesn't make them think any less of you. That's the coolest thing about living here.
That's a really, like, so people say how, like, Bellingham is just a really bad place or anything like that, or just, like, Washington. Like, the falsehood of that is actually, like, Washington is probably the better state of anywhere else in the United States.
Yeah. We are so accepting and so okay with whatever people want to be. And that's the coolest thing, I think, about this city and this state. That I can do whatever I want. I can dress however I want. I can act however I want. I've been doing this thing with my hands lately where I sort of, like, talk like this. And people just, like, make assumptions about that, I'm assuming. But it's cool that, like, I can do this and I can talk like this, and people don't think less of me. They may think differently of me. They may think I'm one way or another, but they don't think less of me. So that, I just wanted to say, like, living here and being in this particular part of the country is just such a, like, blessing, I think. And that I feel so privileged to be around people that take social liberties and civil liberties so seriously. At the same time, I wish almost that people would sort of find something within themselves, find this feeling of just acceptance, and forget to fight for it. Because I feel like a lot of the time, we, in this state and in this part of the world, tend to want to solve problems that we aren't a part of. And we tend to want to sort of create solutions for things that don't really need a solution. And I think part of that just stems from the fact that we've grown up in a culture where the U.S. has just sort of been that enigma in the world stage. But as far as the way that we feel about social issues and civil liberties, I just think that there's power in sort of realizing that the fight is not something that needs to be external, that the fight can be internal. And I think that Bellingham and Washington as a state sort of represent that in a pretty beautiful way, that so many people here don't spend their time fighting for civil liberties and like trying to create change and like blah blah blah. They just accept and they just live and they just don't judge people, and that is the best way to fight it.
There's one place that tried doing that, and there's a place called Linden.
Yeah.
And we all know, well, you as the viewers probably don't know this, but us Bellinghamsters, we know it, and they kind of failed. In fact, they kind of crumbled.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
They attempted to be very Catholic and like try to weed out all the bad things and everything like that, and they just, you know, they failed.
Yeah, and it's ironic that more people are leaving Linden than are staying and coming to Bellingham, because Bellingham is so much more accepting, even of people from Linden who grew up in that culture of sort of like purging the bad things and not accepting things that are different. That because Bellingham is so accepting of things that are different, we accept those people that think that way. And it sort of brings them, like, we just want everyone to be comfortable. That's really like what the city is to me, is that the city just wants you to be comfortable. There's just sort of this aura around Bellingham that just sort of like screams that it wants you to just relax and be comfortable and do what you want to do. And that's very, very cool, and I really like that.
And like, even then, like, when it comes to that, there's still like, you're never going to be without the people who still think of you negatively.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like, you can walk outside with a dress, like, you'll be fine. You can walk outside a dress, but you'll still have the people who drive by and they'll look at you like, what's that guy doing walking outside a dress? And they'll like laugh, but they won't say anything outwards towards you. They'll just laugh while they're driving by, and you'll never know that. And for instance, and then there'll be the really, really rare cases where so far of a long time I've been living here, I've only seen this once, where you'll see like very activists like Christians or Catholics or stuff like that will be like waving the signs outside. So far I've only ever seen that once around here, and that was not even in Bellingham, that was in Burlington.
It can happen, but it does not happen very often. The most aggressive and hurtful thing that I've ever seen in Bellingham was when some people from LARP were walking around. I don't even know if you were going at this point, but some people from LARP were walking around in costume on campus, and that was before we had the rule. I don't even know if they still uphold this rule, but back in the day, there was no rule against playing a character of not your gender. So you could play any gender you wanted, and you could play any race you wanted.
I can't do that, unfortunately, anymore.
Yeah. So back then, we had someone dressed as a woman because he was playing a woman role.
Was that Danny? Or was that, what's his face? Gage? Josh Gage?
No, it wasn't Josh Gage.
Oh, I was going to say he still does that.
It was someone who's not here anymore. Like in Bellingham, he moved away.
Yeah.
But we were just walking around campus before LARP started, and we got this group of kids who looked unassuming. I mean, they were just normal people that just, like, started laughing and calling him a faggot and, like, just, like, shooting insults at us and stuff like that. And it was like, why would you even consider saying such mean things to people in public? It's just so weird. And the thing to me was, like, we obviously brushed it off, like, we didn't care, like, whatever. And we just kept walking, and then we got to Bond Hall, and we were just like, You know, that's really sad. Like, I almost pity those people because they just don't get it. And like, that's such a rare instance in Bellingham that I feel like those people will turn around at some point. They'll realize that like what they said was, you know, potentially hurtful, and that they had no reason to say it really, and that like I don't know, it wasn't, there was no point to them saying that because we didn't take offense to it. We just kept walking, and they probably got no satisfaction out of it either because we just kept walking. So like, why would you even say it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that interaction happens so infrequently in Bellingham and in Washington that it's sort of just weeding itself away. And that's the best way to fight, or at least, you know, oppose these sort of like social injustices and these civil liberties that are being taken advantage of, is just by ignoring the bad people and just sort of creating a positive light and saying, you know what, I don't care what they say about me. I am who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable with my own image, full sphere. And that I'm not going to acknowledge that those people are trying to be hurtful to me. And eventually they will learn that them being hurtful has no grounds and that they have no reason to be that way.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know, like it's weird. Like I am very impressed when a person can be insulted and just ignore it. Because myself, like I am not that way. Like, dear God, am I not that way? If someone insults me, I'll get incredibly angry and I want to stab that person.
Yeah.
Like
I'm the same way. I have a pretty short temper.
Yeah. No, like when I'm walking around or anything like that, like so essentially it's like wearing a dress or anything like that. So anybody said anything to me, I would have like, if they're driving away, I'll chuck a rock at their car, make them turn around. If they're there, I'll just cut them. Like, I mean, essentially, I don't take no shit.
Yeah. I'm much less aggressive, but when someone insults me, I get very, very angry. And there have been some instances where I've, you know, like shoulder checked someone into a wall, Jordan. But doesn't happen very often because normally I'm pretty reserved. But there's been times when like someone will laugh at me or someone will like insult me or whatever, and I just like, I get very, very angry, but I don't say anything. I don't retaliate. I just take it. Because, like, what else are you going to do? I mean, yeah, you could fight back, but then are you any better, really? I don't know. I don't know.
But you feel better.
You feel better. You definitely feel better.
Yeah.
After you punch someone in the face or you shoulder check someone into a wall, Jordan. But, I don't know. So that's sort of the end of that topic, I think. Do you have anything?
Shit.
I don't even know what time we're at. Probably talked for like a good 20 minutes already.
Let's see here. I mean, like, you know, if you want to, like, say something else while I'm thinking of a topic here.
Yeah, that's
an emergency.
So, I don't really have, like, any specific topics, but I'll just talk about some of the stuff that's been going on for us because there has been a few developments and some things that we're talking about. Recently, we started... I kind of talked about this last time, but we started scheduling people into the Housecast a little bit more officially and a little bit more frequently. So if anybody out there is watching this or listening to this and wants to be on the show, definitely let us know. Specifically let Justin know because he does all the scheduling for the actual official calendar. If you have any interest in collaborating with us, reach out to us. We've gotten a couple of actually people who have reached out to us about collaborating, which is really cool. Greg Lathrop gave us a message here on Facebook recently. I'm going to get back to him after this. And we've had other people, too, that have been really cool with wanting to collaborate and do stuff. So that's awesome. The more we collaborate, the greater our reach gets and the more that we can, you know, talk to you guys. So, you know, always reach out to us with inquiries like that. If you want to be on the show, if you want to collaborate with the show, if you want to, you know, if you have a suggestion for the show, we're always open to suggestions.
Oh, definitely.
We're slowly improving as well. Again, we have the green screen now, which has been helpful with the YouTube content. We just released a Splatoon video, which was really cool. We got to use the green screen in that. And, you know, we're not as consistent as we were at the beginning, but we're also, I think, because we're not as aggressively trying to put up content every single day, the quality of the content has improved dramatically. And so
we may not release a YouTube video as often or as many of them as we were at the beginning, where we were just splitting up stream footage into 10-minute chunks and uploading it. But the YouTube content we make now is really high quality, and it actually feels like really good content. Yeah. And the stream is not going anywhere. We love the stream. It's fantastic. Shout outs to my boy Brian, who we finally got to talk to the other day. It was awesome.
I'll be honest with you, Brian, like, when I heard your voice, I was not expecting the kind of age that you were. I was expecting an old dude. It's just Brian is such an old name.
With Brian, the way I felt, I was like, man, I really hope this guy is not annoying. I really, really hope this guy is not annoying. And then you were so cool, Brian. So fucking cool.
Your friend was annoying.
Your friend was annoying. But you were cool. But anyway, yeah, like anyone who wants to play League with us, reach out to us. Grab our Stoner names. We're happy to play League with you. Yeah.
Like, definitely, you guys also have like any suggestions as far as like any games that you want us to play. Like, we have access to literally any sort of game that you want us to play. We can either go buy it because we definitely have the money for it, or I mean, essentially, we probably have it laying around here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want us to play it, leave a comment, or like we're streaming, just like put a chat, like little thingy in the chat. Anything. I mean, essentially, we'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure that we appeal to as many people as possible, and we play the games that we like, but we want to know what you guys like and what your guys are into.
Yeah.
And we're always open to new experiences as well. I'm really excited because this upcoming month we've just got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and also like, for instance, there's also a lot of games out there, and we have no idea if there's any other games out there that we like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure that if you guys give a suggestion, we'll probably end up liking a game that you guys like.
I'm sure with the past 10 years, I've missed hundreds of games that I've just never played that I would really enjoy. Right, and also, it's not just about games either. If you have suggestions for topics that you want us to talk about on the show, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
I'm happy to tweet at us. We're at the Housecast on Twitter. You can always find us on Facebook as well. The page is public. If you want us to talk about something and maybe give you a shout out on the show, absolutely, we're happy to do that, 100%. So definitely interact with us. Give us suggestions, and we'll be happy to reach out to you guys as well. And
please, for the love of God, give me some ideas for this show. I am really, really bad at coming up with ideas and questions.
Sully's topics. Well, the thing with Sully's topics is they're always really good. He just takes forever. But for today, I just wanted to kind of reach out to you guys on a more personal level and just say that I really appreciate you guys being here. We say that almost every day, but I love you guys for being here. Thank you so much, and thanks for watching this. And being a part of it. We're slowly growing. Like I said, it's just so exciting. Like I've gotten more messages in the past 2 weeks about the show and about people who have watched the show than I had before. In the previous 6 weeks we were doing this. Shout outs to Brandon McLaren for watching and commenting and being a part of it. Again, Greg Lathrop for reaching out to us about it. Taylor Garrett for reaching out to us. There's a couple other people as well. Jeremy, obviously, for always wanting to be on the show. And yeah, everybody's... Doug reached out to us. He wants to be on the show. We set a date for him. Just really, really cool that everyone is so... we have not gotten negative response for this at all. Yeah. Nobody has said, you guys suck, or what are you guys doing?
I get a lot of it. There's a lot of, hate mail that I get. Just kind of filter and make sure you guys don't get it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, you are social media manager, so that's your job. Yeah. But I have gotten only positive feedback, only support, and I just cannot thank you guys enough.
I also was saying shit. We have not gotten a single negative thing.
No, yeah, we have been so grateful to everyone, and not just for the people that randomly watch, but our families as well. I know Jessen's mom has been really supportive. Obviously, my parents have been very supportive as well. I talked to my mom about it. She's very excited for me. So I'm just really, really happy that everyone is so supportive and that they enjoy the content. Even if they don't watch it, they just like that we're doing it and that we're doing something we love. And that the energy that we create by doing this and sort of the idea behind it, just doing what we love because we love doing it, I think that's just such a positive thing, and it's so cool that we get to spread that with so many people. So.
I mean, my mom has no idea that I'm doing this. I'm kind of terrified if she ever listens to one of these episodes, so here's one to you, Mom.
Yeah.
And, oh, dear God, if you find out about this. Oh. so rough for me. I do not drink.
I'm used to it at this point.
So-
it's gonna go down easy now.
My question.
Yeah.
Is it a question or is it a topic? Topic.
Topic.
My topic. Alcohol.
Mhm.
So not just like alcoholism or like what's your preference on drinking or anything like that. Like no, that's too like mainstream. Mainstream or just
Specific.
yeah. Well, I mean my thing is just like the different types of alcohol and the age that like what you drank depending on the year it was. Like century, I guess I would say. Like for instance, like nowadays we have a plethora of different types of drinks. Not just like labels, but like the drinks itself. Like you got vodka, scotch, bourbon. You have
Tequila.
gin, tequila, just regular beer or
Whiskey.
Bullpiss. Yeah, there's so much.
There's like liqueur and all this weird stuff. Yeah.
There's like specific like alcohol that's like for mixing, not even just drinking. It's specifically for mixing.
Yeah.
And my topic is just like how has like all those different types of alcohol, like what sort of year it would have been to where it's most appropriate when you'd be drinking that the most. For instance, like I'd say this century it's vodka. Everybody always drinks vodka. Like parties, like oh let's take a shot of vodka, or like vodka's mixed in everything. Or comparatively to like I'd say the 17th century, people would drink like a lot of I'd say like the older people would drink scotch a lot more. Scotch
Yeah.
is more.
In the early British Empire, absolutely.
Yeah.
I get that. I think you have a really good point, and I'm going to go over some of these as well. Like, the Middle Ages was all about ale
Ale.
everywhere.
Like you don't drink anything but ale. If you're a king or if you're very like high nobility, you drink wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of wine, in the ancient Greek Empire, only wine, pretty much. That was their
Yeah.
drink of choice.
That's pretty much your water.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right, vodka has become very popular, but the point that I wanted to touch on is that location also matters.
Yes.
Hispanic countries drink a lot more tequila than we do, obviously.
Yep.
Eastern Europe and Scandinavia and things like that, much more vodka than we drink, generally speaking. In Great Britain, they probably drink a lot more whiskey than we do, generally speaking. That's just the way it is.
Russia,
and-
vodka.
Russia, vodka, absolutely. And in Asia, it's a lot of, they obviously, Japan has sake. There is other types of drinks in Asia
Yeah.
that are totally unique to Asia. And in Canada, it is beer. All of just beer. No one drinks anything in Canada except beer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get what location and the timing is very important to the alcohol we drink. And also, I think too, the age of my age
Yeah.
that would determine what I drink as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, for instance, like, everybody... Also, I don't know, I feel like there's... When you're younger age, when you're first getting your first drink, you're sitting a fork in the road. Either... Like, your first drink will either be a beer, and that's when you start raising up towards, like, the beer life. That's when you have, like, a Pabst or, like, Corona or something like
Yeah.
that. You have beer. Like, that's your first drink, and that leads you towards that. Or your first drink will be vodka. Like you would take like a shot of vodka or something like that. And then from there on, your path begins with hard liquor. You start off with a lot of vodka. Like for instance, me, like my first drink was vodka. And like I had Smirnoff, entire bottle of it actually. And from there on, like I would drink exclusively vodka. Every single time I go to a party, like I was like, here, have a beer, man. I was like, it's gross.
Yeah.
I just like got myself a bottle of vodka and have that for the rest of the night. And then I just like go in there and I just have hard liquor all the time and everything like that until nowadays where I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, my drink, like my preferable drink is Fireball whiskey. And like, yeah, I mean, that's what I feel like it is. Like when you're first beginning to drink, you have that fork in the road what you're drinking.
I agree. My first drink was rum, Captain Morgan, and now my drink of choice is bourbon or scotch or any type of like fancy whiskey. And I think that sort of follows that same logic, right? My first drink was rum. I pretty much only drank hard liquor or mixed drinks for a long time. Didn't really like beer until very recently. And now my favorite drink are brown liquors for the most part. But I think that there is sort of room to mix or intermingle those two things. Like I definitely enjoy beer now. I didn't used to. I don't think I really enjoyed beer until I turned 21, actually. But now I really like beer, just because it's sort of an alternative to soda for me now.
I feel like beer is like you start liking it once when everybody brought beer here. When we would have parties, like you would have cases upon cases of just beer here.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I was like, well, we might as well get rid of this somehow. Just drink it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's part of it too. Yeah, and yeah, I just sort of developed a taste for it. Beer is one of those things where if you never had a beer ever, and then you're 35 years old and you have a beer, you'd be like, oh, this is disgusting. Whereas me at 35, I'm probably going to be pounding back beers like crazy, just because I'm so used to it and it's acquired taste. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's kind of just an alternative to soda at this point for me. Like, I can have a Sunkist or I can have like a light beer, and it's the same thing for me, basically.
Yeah. For me, it's like soda.
Yeah.
I
You just drink soda. I know, you're crazy.
Soda.
Other thing that I kind of want to talk about, too, as far as the alcohol thing goes, is that we, at this point, are not drinking this with the intention, necessarily, to get drunk. We're drinking it because it's a fancy, sort of, like, expensive thing, and we wanted to try it.
And also, there was a $200 bottle that we saw at Safeway, and we really wanted it.
Yeah. But we used to get drunk just to get drunk, and at that point it didn't really matter what I was drinking.
Oh my god, yeah. And so a lot of times when we would like have parties and everything like that, I'd just do mixers. Mm-hmm. And so like I'd get a big old cup, like a big cup, and I'd put whatever like soda or anything like that, just like a little bit of it so it can give them some flavor, and I'd just pour like hard liquor and I'd just pour it until it went to the top. And I just chug that thing down until I was drunk.
Yep. And it's crazy that I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, there's no way that this room that we're sitting in could have existed 3 years ago. There's no way. These blankets would have been torn down, and this whole place would have been a fucking mess.
Yep.
And everyone would have been, like, just putting their shit everywhere in here.
The TV would be, like, on the ground.
Yep.
Like, this thing would be gone by now.
Yeah, this bottle.
Yeah.
And every like thing that we've accomplished in this room never would have been accomplished 3 years ago, because we're at this point organized now. We have an organized set, and like never would have been the case because people just would get furiously drunk and just fuck everything up.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that now when I take a drink or I'm enjoying a cup of whatever I'm drinking, or I'm having a cocktail or I'm drinking a beer, it's not with the intention of I'm going to get so drunk that I don't remember this tomorrow. It's with the intention of I'm going to enjoy this, get a slight buzz, and feel better about everything, because it just gives me slight pleasure drinking a little bit, feeling a little bit lighter than myself, and just enjoying life. Yeah. And I think that that's the way you're supposed to consume alcohol. And I'm glad that we're at that point now, because we used to suck at drinking.
That's also the thing, like, with when it comes down to alcohol, it's also like the whole age thing. I'd say both like sensory age and like your also age. Like for instance, when you're drinking at a younger age, you don't have that. I mean, essentially, it's like you're drinking at your younger age. You're like, oh my god, I'm drinking, I'm gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, I just want to drink to
like,
get drunk.
Yeah, like I want to get fucked up. And then like nowadays, like for instance, or us, if you've drank a lot in the past, then essentially your older self, and essentially you've already done that. You don't need to get drunk again.
Yeah.
Like we drank a lot in the past, so like nowadays we're just whatever to us anymore. We've already done that. We've experienced it. But I would say as far as like the sensory age, the older, like back in the old days, I feel like getting fucked up is a current fad. Like, I mean, essentially, you can't think of back in, like, the older centuries where people want to get drunk and messed up all the time. Like, for instance, let's say medieval days. What sort of story have you ever heard of, like, people partied like really hard and got drunk off? Unless you're part of like the King's Round Table or something like that. Yeah. You just fought a battle.
I mean, there was like celebrations where like, yeah, you win a battle, or you like, it's a holiday and you get pretty messed up. But it wasn't like, we're gonna have a party tonight with the intention of we're gonna get fucked up just for the sake of getting fucked up.
I mean, essentially ale was their thing all the time, and like they drank it all the time. And for instance, I guess I can kind of see it when I'm thinking in my head right now, where like past centuries like building up, like you'd be drinking to, like during parties and everything to get like messed up and all that, like starting up, and it was essentially this is now like the 21st century. Is it 21st or is it 20th?
It's 21st now.
21st, yeah. Like people are drinking to get messed up.
Yeah, I think
like
there's
the most hardcore.
Yeah, there's like two reasons for that. I think first of all, there's now an age limit and a stigma around drinking when you're young, whereas back then it didn't really matter. People didn't drink when they were young, but not because they couldn't or they shouldn't, because they just didn't, and they would drink when they got older, just because that was a thing. But now it's like a law. We cannot drink until we're 21.
Yeah. It's because like even with like that law, there's a reason towards it, because we can seriously do some damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
With like our current equipment.
The other thing, well, there's two other things. I guess there's 3 points. One, the age limit. 2, the prohibition happened in the 1920s, and so America, being America, decided, fuck that. We're not going to let prohibition stop us from drinking. We're going to drink just because they tell us not to. So that's another part of it. And then the third part is we just have an abundance of alcohol now. We can just drink because there's so fucking much of it. It's insane how much alcohol there is everywhere.
Like,
whereas back in the day, you had to, like, there wasn't necessarily that much to drink all the time. Now there's just a ton to drink constantly.
Like, there's so much titles of drinks out there that you can drink a new title every day of your life and you'll
never run out. Yeah. And what's funny is like California, for example, has more booze in that country than water. They have more booze than water. It's insane. And like that's just part of the reason why as a culture we just drink excessively, because there's just so much of it.
So much.
Yeah, it's an abundance. Like why wouldn't you, you know? And also just I think that part of it as well is, for me personally, I don't know if this is the same for everyone, this is just my personal experience. When I was drinking, I was more confident in myself and in other people.
That's what a lot of people, like, there are a lot of things with drinking, like, drinking gives confidence. Like, for instance, I was talking to one of my friends. She is, like, super scared to, like, ask a person out, and she's going to, like, she's like, yeah, I'd rather just be buzzed, and then I'll be able to, like, ask that person out. And I'm like, okay.
Absolutely. I've asked more people out and, like, been more affectionate to people when drunk than any time else, I think. Yeah. For the most part. And it's just because I'm more confident and I don't have as much reservation when I'm drunk, and I think that's part of the reason why I do it. But also, and not even just with girls, but also just in general. I think that if I drink a little bit, like just have a glass of this, for example, I'm buzzed to the point where I don't have so much reservation. I'm not so self-conscious. I don't care so much about what people are thinking of what I'm saying. I just say stuff just because. And like I'm more confident in what I do. And I'm more confident, here's the kicker, is that I'm more confident not just what other people think, but just in what I'm doing for myself. Like, for example, I sometimes feel really guilty about coming home and just playing a game and not streaming it. Sometimes I feel really guilty for like coming home and just popping in Hearthstone and just like playing it by myself without streaming it to other people. Because I should be streaming it, ideally, for like the sake of the cast and everything like that. But when I drink a little bit and I'm just like slightly buzzed, I can play Hearthstone all day and I don't care what anyone thinks. Because like I'm doing it for myself. I don't feel so pressured to do anything for anyone else. So like if I want to do something for myself and not feel guilty about it, I'll just drink a little bit, have like a beer or a small glass of bourbon or something like that, and suddenly I don't feel guilty about doing it anymore because it's for me and I'm doing it for myself, and like that's fine. So I think that that's part of it too, is I feel more confident not just in like my interactions with other people, but I feel more confident in myself and the decisions that I make. Like I am much more inclined to like practice a song, for example, when I'm slightly buzzed, because I'm not judging myself constantly as I'm trying to play it. Whereas if I am like not drinking at all and I'm playing a song and I fuck up a couple of times, I get discouraged and I stop. But if I'm drinking a little bit and I start practicing a song, I'm so much more confident in my own ability, and I'm so much more confident that this is what I should be doing right now, that I just do it, and I don't really like care what I think or what anyone else thinks. Yeah. So I think that part of it is the reason why I try to drink just a little bit more often rather than drinking a ton all at once, like twice a month or something like that. So that was a good topic. I don't know where we're at time-wise. I'm going to go check. Oh, shit. Okay.
What?
We're like 40 minutes already.
Oh. I mean, we could just keep this. Since there's only two of us, we can just have a short episode.
Yeah. So, oh, man. I just want to say one last time that I really appreciate you guys, and I really love doing this. Really, 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 truly. I love doing this. This is like my favorite thing. I look forward to the Housecast every week. I look forward to coming home and streaming. I look forward to putting up YouTube content. I look forward to hearing from people about it. It is my favorite part of my life. So, thank you so much. Thank you, Sultan, Sully, whatever, for being here with me and doing this with me today. Sultan, yeah. You know, we didn't have Justin and Jen here with us today, but we miss them, obviously. And
I mean, Smutevs are gone. Never even noticed.
Shut up. I miss them. And, you know, it's really cool that they're with us, too, and helping us through this and being a part of it. And thank you guys so much for allowing us to live the dream and do what we love to do just because we want to, and for being a part of that culture. We really, really appreciate it. And obviously, I'm going to do a couple of plugs here. Check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/thehousecast. Check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/thehousecast. Pretty much anywhere you can think of, just that website /thehousecast is where we're at. So Twitter /thehousecast, we're there as well. Facebook.com/thehousecast, we have that URL now. So check us out. We are absolutely happy to respond to whatever you would like to tell us, and give us suggestions, tell us that we're doing a good job, tell us that we're doing a bad job. Just interact with us, just be a part of it, and we will appreciate it. I guarantee it. Sully, do you have anything to say?
Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
There you go. He took Jen's job today because she's not here.
Yeah.
Justin and Jen are actually down at a DJ Searle concert, in case you guys were wondering. And I'm sure they're having a lot of fun.
Oh, you know.
Thank you so much for joining us while we try out this crazy, expensive, pretty underwhelming, to be perfectly honest with you, bottle of scotch. I've had bourbon that's better. I have a bottle of bourbon that's better, but I'll drink this whole thing. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm totally a bitch, and it's hard as hell for me to drink this. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, that's why you've gotten through about half as much as me.
Yeah.
It's cool, though. I like that we got to just do this and experience this, even if it is not the best I've ever had.
I mean, it'll still be one of those things that we just, like, get fancy. For instance, when we do, like, a home dinner or anything like that.
Yeah, we can just whip this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to have, and, you know, we can at least validate ourselves a little bit more because we've had this.
We can be, you know, more...
And also...
classy.
What's cool about this is that I can just buy this on a whim because I felt like it. I like that I have money.
Yeah. I mean, I don't ever really have money because I got a shit ton
that's
of bills
okay.
I have to pay.
That's all right. I'll buy whiskey for you. But seriously, though, guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode today, but that's just because there's only two of us. We don't have much to talk about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching and listening, and join us next time.
One cheers. Goodbye. Oh. Oh.
Suck it.
There's hold on. Give me yours. There. Ha! Drank more than you.
Ah, fuck you. All right. See you later, guys.
Oh. For real though,